You are now watching The Meech.
I did not expect to make this video, but I am more than happy to do so. Nintendo had their June 2022 partner showcase. Now usually with the partner showcases, they tend to not be so great. One time they revealed a WWE game coming to the Switch as their big reveal, and it was a weird 2K shovelware WWE game. My favorite one though is when they hyped up a new collaboration with WayForward. We're thinking, oh, they make Shantae. Maybe it's a Wario Land made by them. It wasn't. It was some Bakugan game that, just like the WWE game, it was pretty much seen as shovelware. But this time around, I would say that the Partner Showcase Mini has been the best direct ever since E3 2021. This was spectacular and is everything a Partner Showcase should be. So let's talk about what was revealed in it, what I really liked about it. I think it's easy to predict what I really loved about it. And just talk about some of the games coming later this year. So Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, I'm so glad we got more information on it because I was a little bit worried that maybe the game was delayed or maybe it's going to be releasing next year, but no, it is coming. I had a spark of hope that we get it this year and it is coming in October, and I couldn't be more happy about that. The game looks excellent. I love the first Mario and Rabbids game. That is actually one of my favorite Mario games, which is unbelievable. Who would have thought that a Mario and Rabbids crossover, something nobody was asking for but we desperately needed, would be so good? And seeing the sequel for it, it looks even better. Mario and Rabbids, the first one, it was great. Although I will say the locations were a bit standard. It did make sense though. The entire game was based around being a hybrid of Mario and Rabbids worlds together. You get to see weird stuff like bullet bills in underwear and Goombas on a toilet. Just very weird stuff like that. But this time around, you got a lot more interesting locations. One of them is based on Greece, specifically the islands like Santorini and Mykonos, and seeing those represented, I'm very happy. I love seeing Greece represented in games, and if it's the islands, I am beyond happy. This is really good stuff. I will definitely be getting the game. I'm super excited for it. I think along with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that will probably be my game of the year, at least on the Nintendo side. And although it's third party, I do consider it to be a Nintendo release considering it is a Mario game still. And then we go on to some more games. Super Bomberman R is one that I don't see talked about as much, but it's a cool game. I like the first Super Bomberman R, that was actually a launch title for the Switch, and it's essentially like the new Super Mario Bros. Or PacMan Championship Edition to Bomberman. It's pretty much just a reimagining for a modern era, and it's pretty fun. I will say Super Bomberman R was a really good title to launch on the Switch. It showcases the Joy-Cons pretty well. Back then we knew nothing about drift or knew nothing about what those controllers had in store, and it was cool being able to pass a friend a Joy-Con and play some Super Bomberman R. Usually, for me at least, I would play on the TV exclusively in multiplayer. I want to know how many of you actually use a Switch in tabletop mode and pass a Joy-Con to a friend. Because Nintendo advertises that all the time, but the last time I did that, I think was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Christmas in 2018. So it has been a while. But then we get to the PacMan in the room. PacMan World Repack. Words cannot describe my excitement. I am so excited that it makes Tim look like a librarian. This is excellent news. As many of you know, I'm a huge fan of PacMan. I've been enjoying the heck out of PacMan Museum Plus, although if there's someone who's been enjoying it more than me, it's a certain Orange Yoshi. Perhaps we're gonna do a collaboration retrospective of the game later this month, so be on the lookout for that. But I gotta say, PacMan as a series wasn't exactly in the best position. When I did the Rise and Fall of PacMan with our good pal Tim, pretty much the main problem with the series is that after the Ghostly Adventures underperformed, Namco thought that fans didn't want PacMan anymore, and from there, it just led to compilations like Namco Museum, merchandise, arcade 1-ups. They pretty much weren't doing anything with the series, with a few exceptions like PacMan Championship Edition 2. But the good news is that ever since fans spoke up and said, we want PacMan to return, Bandai Namco listened. With PacMan Museum Plus, I definitely saw some things hinting towards either a new PacMan game or a remake. if you look at all the models, they are based on the classic characters, and to my recollection, not counting Super Smash Bros., it has been a very long time since we've seen the classic designs. They went for the Ghostly Adventures design all the way, I believe, in 2013, but in between then there was this really weird kind of hybrid design for Pac-Man Party and Pac-Man and Galaga Dimensions. I think that design actually looked good, but needless to say, it is great to see that Pac is back. And this remake, I do have some gripes with it. I just don't like Pac-Mom. I don't understand why AtGames owns Miss Pac-Man's royalties, and if so, what is Namco doing? It's AtGames. You probably just need to give them like $50 and they'll give it to you. They can't even afford to make their Sega Genesis consoles have a proper sound chip. And other than that though, other than Pac-Mom, this looks fantastic. The art style is really good. It definitely complements the original design quite well. I think that the models are improved upon from Pac-Man Museum Plus, because I did feel like in that game, they were a little bit too simplified, but here everything looks great. And it is so cool seeing the game remade in HD, and I can't wait to see more of this stuff. I hope that Pac-Man World 3 is next, although it'd be logical to have 2 first. 3 is definitely more rough around the edges, so that's why I'd prefer to see it. But I'm guessing they would go from World 1, 2, to 3, and then maybe a Pac-Man World 4. Oh, and the game comes out August 26th, so that's not even 2 months from now. I am so hyped, and you guys, get the game. We want more Pac. Pac is back. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and keep calm and da-da on.